Hi everyone, I'm here to share with you a text called Exploring the Great Unknown, the Lewis and Clark Expedition, 1803 to 1806. This text is for an activity that I sent home with my packet number 6. Let's get started. 1803. The United States now has 16 states. To the west is unexplored land called the Great Unknown. President Jefferson asks Captain Meriwether Lewis to go and study the Great Unknown. I want you to find a way by water to the Pacific Ocean. Make maps, learn about the climate, soil, plants, and animals. Meet the Native Americans. I'd like to ask Lieutenant William Clark to join me as leader. Before Lewis and Clark leave, the United States buys the Louisiana Territory from France. The Louisiana Purchase gives the United States the land between the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains. Lewis and Clark will be exploring American territory. May 14th, 1804. Lewis and Clark set off. Traveling with them are 14 soldiers, 9 frontiersmen, 2 French boatmen, and York, an African-American man owned by Clark. We'll both write down everything we see and everything that happens. We'll collect plants and animals. Going up the Missouri River is slow and hard work. Flat land stretches for miles. Lewis and Clark see many interesting things. On September 11th, they write, saw a village of barking squirrels. October 1804. The men stopped to build a fort. They know the Missouri River will soon freeze. The fort is called Fort Mandan after the Native Americans who live in a nearby village. Charbonneau and his wife Sacagawea come to Fort Mandan. He is a French fur trapper. She is Shoshone. Years earlier, Sacagawea was taken from her home by another Native American group. We're going through Shoshone territory soon. Could you guide us and talk to the Shoshone we meet? Oh, yes, I want to see my family again. I want to see my people. April 1805. The expedition heads west again. Lewis and Clark send a boat and some men back to St. Louis. The boat is loaded with letters, maps, plants, and animals. Good luck! Make sure President Jefferson gets the maps. A lot happens in May. A huge grizzly bear swims across the river after Clark, but it is killed. A burning tree almost falls on Lewis and Clark. One night, a buffalo runs into camp and almost tramples some of the men. Grizzly! July 1804. The expedition reaches Shoshone territory near the Rocky Mountains. Sacagawea sees her brother again. He is now a great chief. The path through the mountains is very steep. There won't be much food, but we'll help you. We need more horses. Can we buy them from you? The expedition crosses the Rocky Mountains. On September 3rd, Lewis and Clark write, at dusk it began to snow, passed over immense hills and some of the worst roads that ever horses passed. The sea is on the other side of these mountains. After crossing the Rockies, they find the Columbia River. The river leads to the Pacific Ocean. Along the way, a Native American chief and 200 of his men meet and sing to the explorers. I don't know what they're singing, but it sounds beautiful. December 1805. 18 months after leaving St. Louis, the expedition reaches the Pacific Ocean. They build Fort Clatsop and spend the winter there. I've never seen so much rain in my life. I can't wait to get home. Captain Lewis says we'll be home by next fall. Spring 1806. The expedition heads home. Lewis and Clark take more notes and draw more maps. Again, the Native Americans guide them over the Rocky Mountains. This path is easier than the first one. Haven't seen as many grizzlies either. Never saw such a wild animal. That summer, the expedition splits into two groups. They want to explore as much land as they can. Then both groups meet at Fort Mandan. Sacagawea and her family stay there. Everyone else continues home. Thank you! We couldn't have done it without you, Sacagawea. Get home safely. September 1806. When Lewis and Clark land in St. Louis, bells ring and people cheer. After 2.5 years, they've returned from exploring the great unknown. The great unknown is now known.